So we got, it looks like Ryan Smith leading the cars out onto the qualifying laps. And this one now, Ryan is going to be potential there for pole position. You can't rule him out. There's a number of people in this race that you really would need to keep a very, very good eye on. And Ryan Smith being one of those. Johnny Elliott's definitely a man to watch. And I think that might be him going to be bringing up the rear. So the final car, the number 21, was running well yesterday. There's a number of drivers. O'Brien is driving with Speed Sport, I believe, and he in the cars. He's been running historic races, and he's also been running in British Formula Ford. So that's your race winner. You need to give him a round of applause. This one. Here he is, Matthias Grooten. And don't forget Annaline Boutons as well, a formidable second, and Jack Bolton, incredible third place. As I was saying, possibly the best race we've seen so far. Okay then, so Heat 9 coming up now. As I was saying, it's James Martin versus Mike Coppin, Mike Holcroft, Chris B, Slavik Piskorz, Tim Andrew, Oliver Boots, Johnny Elliott, Ryan Smith and Michael O'Brien. Right then, so having seen a great race there, what have we got in store this one? Well, things to watch out for, particularly, bear in mind Johnny Elliott, fastest all day long yesterday. He was given a run for his money by Matt Barch, who we saw winning an earlier heat race. He was one to show very well against Johnny Elliott yesterday, but really Johnny was the star of testing yesterday. He was fastest. He's bringing up the tail as they leave the pits here, but expect him to be right at the front when those times come in. Okay, so the times are being set now. The qualifying is concluding, and there's Johnny Elliott. So he finishes his qualifying time, and we will see who is on the pole. I have no idea because the timing is down here over in the commentary box, but certainly we'll see who moves to the front, and I will be totally unsurprised if Johnny Elliott is moving from the back to the very front. But certainly a few people in there with something to say about that, not least of which was Ryan Smith, who was the first one through. I've got a load of blackness.
Michael Holcroft from Johnny Elliott. Really? Top two. Slavik third. Michael O'Brien.
Okay, so it sounds like it's not in fact Johnny Elliott. No, it's Michael Holcroft. Michael Holcroft in first place from Johnny Elliott, and Slavik Piskorz. Slavik Piskorz, the Polish driver, is in third.
That's Michael O'Brien in fourth.
And Michael O'Brien in fourth. He's more of a car racer than Carter.
James Martin, Ryan Smith.
James Martin from Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith slightly unnaturally down the order there, it has to be said. I was expecting him to be a little bit higher.
I don't know what's going on. How long has it been like this?
Back. Right, but that's from the previous result. If all we get is the car number, that's what it's exactly. Well, it is Holdsworth, we believe, on the pole from Johnny Elliott. Now, Johnny won't be happy about this. Starting second place, he was fastest all day yesterday, but it is Holdsworth. Holcroft, who is in fact leading the way. Holcroft is holding the lead. Johnny Elliott is meaning business. He's not going to want to mess about here. Johnny Elliott's going to want to take the lead as soon as he can. He's running in second, but Holcroft is hanging on really well. They're coming down back straight. There they are. Holcroft, Elliott, Slavik Piskorz is making a move, is he? No, not quite. Slavik Piskorz, the Polish driver, former Speedway rider, running in third place, and it's still Holcroft who's leading. Former Red Bull kart fight driver, and Johnny Elliott is trying to stay with him, but Holcroft, it has to be said, has actually, if anything, creating a little bit of a gap. Slavik Piskorz is struggling to stay with Johnny Elliott. Still Holcroft on the backstretch. There they go. You can see on screen now. Holcroft, Elliott, the scores. And the leading four now coming round the stadium section is still Holcroft. There he is in the lead. You'll see on the screen there's Holcroft leading the way from Johnny Elliott, Slavik who scores. And Michael O'Brien running in fourth. Michael O'Brien doing a sterling job to hang on to the back of these guys. This lead group of four carts starting to break away a little bit. And they've got James Martin. James Martin is the one who's trying to chase him down. He's in fifth place and it has to be said falling away slightly. Ryan Smith desperately trying to claw something back after what must be said a poor qualifying by his normal standards. I would expect him to be up the front, but still he's got plenty of race to do. I'm sure if anyone's got an idea what they're going to do, it's going to be Ryan Smith. It's not over yet for the driver there in the 18 carts in sixth place. Okay, so what have we got? We got Holcroft in the lead from Johnny Elliott with Slavik Priscos and Michael O'Brien. There's absolutely nothing to choose between this four. Really, really fast, every single one of them. Holcroft doing a great job of hanging in. Down the back straight they go. There you go, you can see him on screen. That's the top four, but it's going to move. There's a move on third place. Yes, Michael O'Brien makes a move on Slavik Priscos. He bundles the Polish Speedway rider out of the way and takes third place. So there they go, you can see the white helmet versus the yellow helmet. And it's the white helmet, which is Michael O'Brien, who's leading the yellow one, which means Priscos has been pushed down to fourth place. Okay, so Holcroft still leading from Johnny Elliott. Johnny Elliott, fastest all day long in testing yesterday. Surely is thinking about biding his time. He's got some ideas, I'm sure. Maybe he's in no rush to actually pass Holcroft. He's going to sit there and let Holcroft set pace. He's going to try and save his pit stop till later. If he pits now, he's going to come out right in the middle of some back markers. So he doesn't want to do that. Johnny Elliott, I'm sure, will be content with that second place right now. He'll have his ideas of pitting late and then taking the fight to Holcroft from there. Holcroft still with the lead, looking very, very good and strong in the lead. Michael O'Brien, the interesting thing to see will be is if he can close in on the second place of Johnny Elliott. There's Michael O'Brien down the backstretch, you can see that. And into that tight turn. There you go, there's O'Brien.
Ollie's coming up to try and fix this for you.
But Holcroft is leading the way from Elliott, O'Brien. Priscos now closing in fifth place is James Martin. James Martin is making big inroads on Slavik Priscos, who is third. The former Speedway driver, Speedway rider from Poland, Priscos, now switched to karts, is getting the full attentions of James Martin, and James Martin could well be bringing Ryan Smith with him. So the Scotsman Ryan Smith may yet be a factor in this race. He's closing in on the leaders himself. So as we go around and come past the stadium section, look on screen now. There's first Holcroft, Elliott, O'Brien, and then it's Priscos and Martin, and then Ryan Smith. And in fact, they seem to be closing in on the leader. The leader of Holcroft and the leading group generally seem to be pulling away, but those in fifth and sixth, which is James Martin and Ryan Smith, they're closing in on the leads. Now Martin's all over the back of Priscos. Is Martin going to make a move down the back? Have a look at this. We can see on screen now, is Martin making a move? Not quite. He's having to stay back from the Polish Speedway rider. Not quite close enough, and now he's nose to tail. Look back to fourth place. There's Priscos in the yellow helmet in view now on the camera. There's Martin, and there's Smith behind him. Smith trying to close in on his sixth place. There's a bit of a breakaway group of three now, but then the leader is not really pulling away. The gap from first to sixth is pretty much what it has been. This is a very close race, right the way down to eighth place in terms of how much time people are losing to each other. All right, so Holcroft continues to lead, as we can see. And there's Johnny Elliott. O'Brien is now really working on Johnny Elliott. Johnny Elliott may be biding his time, but O'Brien's certainly not biding his. O'Brien means business, and that business is going to start with Elliott, who's running second.
I'm going to get you an iPad or a phone to go for later, because this is too slow.
An incredible situation though, because Michael O'Brien is now the fastest on the track. Michael O'Brien has set the fastest lap, and he's in third place. So what's he going to do about Johnny Elliott? Johnny Elliott has now more got the attention to Michael O'Brien than he is giving attention to Holcroft. So Johnny has got a job too, and in the pits is James Martin. James Martin pits from fifth place. He was in a tight battle with Slavik Piskorz and Ryan Smith, and Martin has pitted himself out of that battle. Can he come out ahead of the back marker, which is the 14?
That's Chris Pease.
Chris Pease. Chris Pease is the just tucked in behind James Martin. So Martin, faster than Pease, has got exactly what he wanted, which has come out ahead of Pease as he came out the pits there. So the first of the pit stoppers, certainly from the front end, was of course James Martin, and we'll see if a bit of clear air now will give Martin the track position he needs, because Slavik Piskorz is the one he's working on. We've got another pit stop, but it's the back marker. It's the 12.
That's Mike Coppin.
Mike Coppin is pitting. We've seen the front runners are generally staying out. Coppin is going to try and come out ahead of Martin. No, he can't, but yes, he can come out ahead of Pease. Coppin comes out ahead of Pease, but Pease is trying to pass him.
I'm going to go get you the phone now.
So it's in on screen, the three leaders there. That was Holcroft and Elliott and O'Brien. There they are, just going out of view on the camera now. This is the closer we've seen. They're really nose to tail, these three. There's nothing to choose from. No back markers ahead, so nothing to worry about from that point of view. And it's still Holcroft. Holcroft hanging on there in the lead, but Johnny Elliott is now closing the gap. He did seem to drop back a little bit, but he's closing on the leader. Johnny Elliott, who'd been fastest in testing, and Michael O'Brien, who's turned up and turned on the style. First major competition for O'Brien, and he's really making a good show of it. There he is in the 9 car. There is a third of the group just going out of the camera view now. In the lead it is Holcroft. Holcroft hangs on the lead. Johnny Elliott second. Just keep wondering whether Johnny Elliott's more concerned about Holcroft's lead or O'Brien beating on his door for the second place. Johnny Elliott, very formidable competitor. Been around a little while now. Johnny Elliott, he's competed at world level. He's the 2009 really got going. He was in the outdoor two-stroke karting, racing with the Cheshire Kart Club. He was third in their championship. He came second in the Eindhoven 24-hour, and he's been second in the British 24-hour as well, up at Teesside. So he has form. And he won the Platinum Cup at Three Sisters for TKM back in 2011. He was the champion of that. He won the TKM Platinum Cup up at Three Sisters. Very much based in the Northwest is Johnny Elliott, starting to branch out once more again, nationally and internationally, and he's showing why he's good and proper to do that. Second, oh, and O'Brien pits. O'Brien obviously feels he's quicker than Elliott and possibly Holcroft, and O'Brien pits to get himself out of that. He's lost a couple of extra positions. He's going to rejoin 6th, surely. Yes, O'Brien does rejoin 6th. So he's lost his... Is he 6th? No, he may be 5th. He's actually 5th. He's actually 5th. O'Brien is 5th. So Michael O'Brien is 5th. It is a lead by Holcroft and Elliott. They are now the breakaway group of 2. There's a battling group of 2 behind them for 3rd and 4th. And that's Slavik Piskorz, the Polish speedway rider, and he's up against the Scotsman Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith has closed in with Piskorz, and he's really giving the Polish driver some trouble. Having pitted and rejoined, it is Michael O'Brien. Michael O'Brien is running in 5th place. He's running alone, but when these pit stops cycle through, Michael O'Brien is clearly thinking that he may well indeed be in the lead. He's running very fast. He's been the fastest on the track in the early part of the race. And then James Martin is the one who's running behind him. But Martin's not really in contention to catch and pass O'Brien, I don't think. He's some way behind. Okay, back to the screen action. There are the leaders. That's 1st and 2nd through. And here comes 3rd and 4th, just in front of you on the screen. And then we're looking for Michael O'Brien. There's O'Brien. He's the 5th place card. Now remember, O'Brien has pitted. So he will obviously be some way closer to the leaders in reality than what it looks. Once all those pit stops have cycled through. Really now, although we've got action on the track from the 2 leaders, that's Holcroft and Elliott, we are looking for some pit stops. We're looking for the pit stops to try and see if people can use that to pass. Piskorz has a full attention to Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith is one who'll probably be considering a pit stop. He's probably weighing up the odds, trying to figure out where the heck he's going to come out in terms of when he exits the pit lane. Is he going to come out in some traffic he doesn't want to be in? How's it going to work against Piskorz? Of course, Piskorz does get some clear air when he comes out in turn. Obviously, he's got to run with what Piskorz does as well, because if Piskorz makes a bit of a muck-up of the pit stop, both in terms of sheer doing it and also getting that back on track and clear air, then Obviously that's to Ryan's advantage. So Ryan really biding his time. He's running in fourth. He's got the measure of this course. He's probably slightly quicker. But Michael O'Brien has now set a new fastest lap. He's running in fifth, but he's the fastest on the track now. And he's trying desperately to close in on that third place battle of this course and Ryan Smith. So Ryan Smith may well need to consider a pit stop if he really thinks that this course is holding him up, because he's going to get passed, leapfrogged in the pit stops by O'Brien. James Martin, meantime, continues to 6th. We've got Coppin Lister 7th, 8th is Boot, Pease is 9th, Tim Andrew is 10th, and we've got a pit stop by Ryan Smith. Yes, Ryan Smith has obviously figured that he needs to do something here. He's going to come out behind O'Brien, though O'Brien has taken the position for him. I think Ryan Smith may have left it a little bit too late. He probably needed to pit, ideally, the moment after O'Brien did. He wasn't to know, there's no way he's going to realise that, but in an optimum situation, that might have been what he wanted to do. However, he has come out behind O'Brien. In fact, he's lost a place to James Martin. I think Martin's also pitted as well, so it could be a little bit of a tough break for the young Scotsman. The leader's in the pits. The race leader has pitted. Johnny Elliott's the new leader. Holcroft is in the lead. Chris Holcroft is in the lead. And Slavik Piskor's has pitted out of what was then second place. And he's lost a place to O'Brien. But Holcroft, importantly, has come out ahead of O'Brien. O'Brien now has what is really, in real terms, the leader in his sight. Johnny Elliott is actually currently in lead, but remember, he has not pitted yet. And then take a look and help the viewers back at home watching on the internet. And let's get a feel for this one. Okay, Johnny Elliott pits now. The leader pits. My goodness, it could get mighty confusing here. So Johnny Elliott pits. Will he come out in the lead? Here they come. It's Holcroft and O'Brien. This is going to make or break the race. Johnny Elliott comes out of the pits. Look at this on screen. There's Johnny Elliott leading the pits. And here comes Holcroft and O'Brien. Holcroft takes lead. Johnny Elliott's fighting them wheel to wheel. Elliott's on the inside. Has he done enough? Elliott's desperately hanging on the lead. Johnny Elliott, here comes O'Brien. O'Brien takes second off Holcroft. Incredible racing here at the British Rental Car Championship. It's Johnny Elliott, fastest in testing all day long yesterday, has managed to out-fumble everyone else in terms of pit stops. But he's got Michael O'Brien now. Michael O'Brien's looking mighty racy behind him. Remember, Michael O'Brien is the fastest on track. O'Brien takes lead. O'Brien slams him in the wall. Oh man, what a run. Johnny Elliott won't have liked that one a little bit. A bit of a body slam there. Is there going to be any kind of penalty or warning? No, there's not. It's deemed just a bit of a karting tap there. What can you say? I think that's about fair. It's about just on the edge of what fairness is, and Michael O'Brien's done it. He's taken the lead, and he's taken it from Johnny Elliott, fastest in testing all day yesterday. Chris Holcroft, though, is hanging on in there in third now. Can Chris Holcroft make a move for second? Can Johnny Elliott make a move for third? There they are on screen now. Through the corner, it's O'Brien from Elliott and Holcroft. Incredible performance from each. This is the toughest race. Elliott makes a move, but it doesn't work out. But he hasn't lost any time. Incredibly, that move did not cost Elliott any time at all. Here comes Holcroft for position. Elliott fights him off. Holcroft catches the wall. It costs him a bit of momentum, but the battle resumes. It's Michael O'Brien. They're coming up. They've got a back marker ahead. And what's going to happen there? The back marker himself isn't going particularly slowly. So it's going to be a tough one for these leaders. The blue flag's going to come into play. Down the backstretch, there we go, we can see him on screen. Going into the tight corner there, on screen there's O'Brien, Elliott and Holcroft. And they've got the back marker ahead, which is the 14. It's Chris Pease. Chris Pease is the back marker. There he is with the green helmet. Now here comes the lead 3. There they are on screen. There we go, into the Snell section now. Round they go, they're closing in on the back marker Pease. And it is O'Brien leading from Elliott and Holcroft. They still haven't caught the back marker Pease, which says everything about the pace of Chris Pease down there. So, and into the corner, it's still O'Brien. They've caught Pease now. So, O'Brien catching Pease. The blue flag's going to come into play, but not yet, because they've got to get beyond the Snell section for that. This could cost O'Brien. Now, can anyone do some out fumbling? We've got Johnny Elliott, we've got Michael Holcroft behind him. Okay, so, well, and Pease is he's trying to stay out of the way, but that's gifted the win. That's gifted the win to O'Brien, surely. And Pease is trying to let Holcroft do, and Johnny Elliott's lost the place. Oh, Elliott slams the back of Holcroft. Both come out okay, but Johnny Elliott clearly feeling the frustration. Johnny Elliott's going to keep his head. He's shaking his head, but he's going to have to keep it calm if it's not going to get worse, because they're closing him behind. There's James Martin who's closing him on Pease as well. So Martin could pull himself up into leader contention at this rate. It's still Michael O'Brien who's the leader though, and the fastest on the and the fastest in the race too. He just keeps lowering that lap record. Michael O'Brien, there he is, and there's Michael Holcroft, and there's Johnny Elliott now, and James Martin's past Bees. James Martin's past Bees. He's closing in on the battle for second place. Can James Martin, who's currently fourth, do something in this? Right then, so let's regroup. We've got Michael O'Brien, there he is, just going away from me in the distance on the screen. Onto the back straight he goes. So on the back straight, it's Michael O'Brien. They're coming into the tight corner at the end of the back straight. It's O'Brien who's going to be the one in the lead. There he is, into the stadium area. Here he is on screen. There's O'Brien with the white helmet. And there is Holcroft and Elliott. And there's James Martin. So James Martin is closing in all the time. And can he do something here? Behind Pease now, it's Ryan Smith, who has leapfrogged Slavek Piškos in the cycle of pit stops, and maybe even passed him on the track. I've been too busy following the others at the moment. But it is definitely no question about the leader. Michael O'Brien leading from Johnny, not Johnny Elliott, of course, Holcroft. Michael Holcroft and then Johnny Elliott, with James Martin closing in on a pair of them. They're on the backstretch now, and it looks like Ryan Smith's got past the back marker P. So, there we are, that's Smith we're looking at on screen, and off screen there. Up at the front, in the snail section there, in the distance, that's Michael O'Brien. Now, Michael O'Brien is leading. This is his first major kart competition, as far as we know, and he's around the back corner into the long backstretch. He's into the long backstretch. There he is in the lead with the white helmet. There's Holcroft, there's Johnny Elliott, and there's Michael O'Brien, Holcroft and Elliott. And where is Martin? There's James Martin. That's how much James Martin's closing in on these leaders here. And yet, he's not the fastest. Still the fastest is Michael O'Brien as he pulls out in the lead. Michael O'Brien pulling out an ever bigger lead. And so Michael O'Brien, an even bigger lead for him as he keeps lowering that fastest lap on his way to victory, surely. Here he is into the stadium area now. It's Michael O'Brien. There he is with a white helmet. Holcroft, Elliott, and how's James Martin doing? He's closing in fourth place. And then it's Ryan Smith a bit now. The question is, Ryan Smith looks like he's going pretty fast too. Can Ryan Smith make any ground up on the fourth place of James Martin? Ryan Smith now running fifth place, of course. He did start a little bit further down than that, and he's starting to make inroads and gain more points as he moves up the order. Michael O'Brien, though, surely going to be the race leader here. An incredible performance by him. Seems to be saying this about every driver who wins, but any race winner at this level is doing very well indeed. Johnny Elliott's falling back a little bit now from Michael Holcroft, and it's James Martin behind him in fourth. He does appear to be gradually reeling in that battle ahead, but will he do it fast enough? And it might be a good moment to have a little quick chat with Lewis Manley. Very quickly, Lewis. You saw him first race, a great show. How was it?
Really good. Very happy with the result. Obviously, it was very close. I thought it was well. I've lost it. I had to nail the last sector, which I thankfully did. Really happy to win the race. I said, good race all the way through. 11 Saturday. Good stop in the pits and managed to pull away with a 5-minute margin.
Absolutely, it was a great job there, Lewis. We'll be very happy indeed. Obviously, the officer behind you was very close, and we've just got the flag out now. We've got a race victory there for Michael O'Brien. You were hearing them from Lewis Manley, who won a heat race earlier on. He's one of the top competitors here at Formula Fast. He intends to take the BRKC title himself, that's a fact. Michael O'Brien, though, what can we say about that performance? He's not really a karter, he's a car racer, but he's managed to take the lead and take the win. Michael Holcroft in second, Johnny Elliott was third. James Martin, a good show from Ryan Smith, who came in fifth place, he made up some ground. And then Slavek Piškos, the Polish Speedway rider, who came in behind in sixth place there. As they pull back into the pits now.
I'll just have to leave it and charge it when it gets
just
low.
one of those have a USB?
Yeah, you don't have a USB.
Could you not just shove that in?
I don't think there is one.
Okay, so
Not that this is working very well.
what do we say about that? That's a great job by Michael O'Brien. Really showed how pit stops can work in your favour. And He was
frustrating.
he was mightily quick.
Should be right.
Right, then we can find out what track two's like.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do now, isn't it?
That's the first
Oh,
round.
sorry about this, James.
Bit of
This
a gap.
isn't working.
O'Brien, who we've just seen win quite an incredible race there in that final heat race. Okay, so as soon as they're ready and we're green, it's definitely going to be worth seeing where people go. First qualifying session of this second round of heats, BRKC 2015, a much different nature of course on the second half of it. The first part stays the same, the second half has been radically altered, and that will not only affect lap times, but it's potentially going to affect performances. Once again, the karts are going to want to get out of the pit lane pretty darn quick, or the leaders will be bearing down on them. So as soon as you get to go out, you better get on the gas, because you'll have someone right on your tail. If they pass you, you can bet your life they'll block you on your lap. So it's worth getting out, and getting out pretty slow is Michael O'Brien. I know he's fast, but he needs to show plenty of speed to make sure he's away. Now starting the first of their actual qualifying laps. Now we're going to see how this one shapes up. Hopefully the timing will stay with me for long enough to get everyone's lap recorded, so we know what it is up here. Okay, so just to recap, two previous heat winners in this one, Jake Campbell-Mills there and Michael O'Brien as well, starting to come through to complete their laps now. Jake Campbell-Mills, he finishes his lap, and there's Ben Churchill as well. Michael O'Brien looks like he's going to be quickest so far, but that's purely from the warm-up point of view. The checker flag is out. We're waiting for these times to come in. So we're nearly end. There's Michael O'Brien there in the 10 car, bringing up the tail. And now we'll see how this one's all worked out. So who's it going to be on the front row? Is it going to be Jake Campbell-Mills or Michael O'Brien? I think my time is just adjusting there. Wow, it looks like Piers Pryor, according to my list, has gone into the lead. Wow, there's a turn up for the books. It's he qualified. I think he finished 4th last time out. Piers Pryor, according to my timing, he's come up in first. It may well be that that's not correct. Michael O'Brien actually has come up first, but Piers Pryor is the one who's running second, so he has done very well. Yeah, thanks a lot, mate. Is this yours? Yeah. Superb, really appreciate it.
My brother and uncle, they can look after it with you, so I'm sure you look after it for me.
Oh yeah, we're only going to break this one. So we've got Michael O'Brien on the pole. He's up ahead of Piers Pryor. A great performance there by the former junior world champion. David Longman is up there in 3rd, and then Jake Campbell-Mills is in 4th. Harry John Neal is 5th. Cassie Abraham is 6th. Ben Churchill 7th. Ben Churchill down in 7th. Christian Jennings is in 8th. And then it's Callum Conway and Chris Ninjas. So, just readjusting the time now. We're going to get this race underway. We've got Michael O'Brien. He's starting from pole. We can see what he's like when he starts from anywhere away from pole. Surely he's going to check out with this one. But Piers Pryor is going to have something to say about that, I'm sure. He's starting 2nd. The race is on now. Michael O'Brien still leads from Piers Pryor. The race will be feeling the way through this one. We've got Jake Campbell-Mills down in 4th place there. Still Michael O'Brien with Piers Pryor all over the back of him. David Longman is there in 3rd as well. He's put in a good showing. Michael O'Brien's going to try and check out of this one. He needs to get away, but he's not having it all his own way. But they're coming down the backstretch. You can see in the turn on the camera there. Very, very close behind. Piers Pryor is working his magic on the back of Michael O'Brien, and he's looking to try and take the lead if he can. He's going to be feeling for places where he might be able to try and make the pass. We haven't actually seen any passing yet. Someone's in the pits already. It's the 9 kart. And so in the pits already, but we've got Michael O'Brien leading the 9. Of course, where he's coming up in a minute. We've still got Michael O'Brien in the lead. Michael O'Brien with Piers Pryor right in his tail, and Longman third, Jake Campbell-Mills fourth. This time there's no escape, it seems, for Michael O'Brien. As soon as he got the lead in the earlier heat race, well, it seemed like he disappeared, but he's not disappearing in this one. Piers Pryor keeping him very honest indeed. That's Piers in the pink helmet in second place, ever so slightly edging away from David Longman possibly, with Jake Campbell-Mills running in fourth. Christian Jennings was the one who made a very, very early pit stop. He's trying to get himself clear of this mass that are learning the circuit. That could be plus or minus, because he's now learning the circuit on his own, as opposed to learning with everyone else. But there's Piers Pryor. Piers Pryor making a move. Piers Pryor takes the position, does he? Oh, and a bit of contact there. And Piers Pryor has lost position. Longman has moved ahead of Pryor, but Pryor is now back into second place. And he's going to have another stab. He had a look at Michael O'Brien. Looked like he'd made the move, but O'Brien took it back, and there was a bit of a bump, and it cost Pryor. He got edged wide, and Longman was trying to shoot up the inside there, but it didn't quite work out. So O'Brien still leads, but with a little bit of a lead. We'll see if Piers Pryor can close in on him, the former junior world champion, as O'Brien continues down the backstretch. There we can see Pryor behind him with the pink helmet. And into the tight corner there, it's still O'Brien, but possibly with Pryor closing in a bit. Longman and Jake Campbell-Mills are there too. Still Michael O'Brien there with Piers Pryor trying to close him down. So Michael O'Brien now through what was the snail section onto the backstretch. We can see him there, and Piers Pryor trying to close the gap. They look like they're pulling away a little bit. And just to confirm, the circuit has been changed for these last run of heats, the second run of heats. It's a bit difficult to see for those who are watching at home on screen. They're running with minimal cameras today. Tomorrow they're going to have more cameras, which will show up the difference in the circuit. But to give those viewers at home a bit of an idea, those watching on the internet, the snail section is no longer there, even though it looks fairly similar in the background.
James has been showing a black flag, indicated on the first lap, and he did say in the briefing, so and the backstretch, oh, and a move down there for third place. Is it third? Is Campbell-Mills going to let him back through? Yes, Campbell-Mills sensing that he was going to get black flagged for that one, and gives a position back to Longman. But yes, going back to those viewing online, that the circuit has changed. It's a bit difficult. It's on the far corner where you can't really see, but put it this way, the snail section is not so twisty, and the backstretch is a little bit shorter. Therefore, lap times have extended out a bit rather than the drivers just randomly going slower. He hasn't pitted.
Meantime, we've got Michael O'Brien in the lead. We've got a bit of a problem going on though for Christian Jennings. There's trouble brewing. He's been black flagged because drivers must complete their first lap before coming into the pits, and Jennings shot straight into the pits on his lap. So Jennings has received the black flag but has not yet responded. Jake Campbell-Mills, meantime, pits out to fourth place. And another pitter coming in. That's the 12.
He didn't stop. 16 didn't stop in the box.
Right.
We had to do a drive again, so Jake Campbell-Mills.
And Jake Campbell-Mills is in trouble now. The former heat winner, or the earlier heat winner, should I say, he didn't stop in the box properly. It sounds like he's going to have to come in and do it all again.
I think he stopped it. He did pull forward. He didn't stop past. He stopped before it, so he stopped nowhere near it, so that's fine.
He's going to be okay.
Yeah, he stopped before it, then he pulled into it.
And, well, the race officials are saying that stop is going to be okay. He did stop, that's the main thing. But a bit of a contentious one there by Jake Campbell-Mills, but it seems like he's got away from it. He'll probably cycle back into his fourth place once the pit stops are through, but we'll see what happens with Jennings. Jennings is now taking his penalty. Jennings, if you remember, he stopped on the first lap. You've got to complete the first lap before pit stopping. Jennings, unfortunately, forgot about that.
Yeah, he's done his stop now.
And now this is his sort of penalty stop. That's cost him any chance of a result in this race. So we'll see what Jennings can do. Keep an eye on him. He's running in 10th place at the moment. He's in the 9 cart in the orange suit. Right. Meantime, returns to the main front of the field. We've got Michael O'Brien, who's currently set the fastest lap. Well, Ben Churchill in the pits. It's all action in pits now. So far, we've seen people pitting at one end or other of the race, shall we say. But now we seem to have people pitting throughout, and a number of early pit stops here. Here's Michael O'Brien leading from Piers Pryor, though, and David Longman. That top three has not changed at all. Jake Campbell-Mills has dropped down the order to 6th as a result of his pit stop. That allows Cassia Prem to move up, and Jake Campbell-Mills is now to 5th. at the expense of the pitting Ben Churchill. It looks like Cassia Brem is coming into the pits though, stopping, taking the second part of the stop, running 4th place, could well drop down lower than that. Yes, Jake Campbell Mills takes 4th, and Cassia Brem comes out ahead of Ben Churchill. So just in between Campbell Mills and Churchill comes out Cassia Brem, and that does allow Cassia to at least keep position, but full attention behind from Ben Churchill. That's Cassia trying to soak up that pressure. There's Ben with the orange helmet. Okay then, so into the pits then, we've got the second place, that's Piers Pryor. Piers Pryor comes out to the pits in second. It looks like, he'll have certainly dropped to 3rd, but he's avoided dropping to 4th. Too far back is Campbell Mills and Brem and Churchill, so Piers Pryor manages to get in and out of the pits and resumes in 3rd place. We'll see how close that's going to be when Longman and O'Brien pit, because of course Pryor did come out 2nd place. And into the pits now, that looks like the race leader. Yes, it is. It's Michael O'Brien. Michael O'Brien pits out to the lead, and Longman, David Longman's going to take the 1st place. Yes, he does. But what's going to happen with Pryor? O'Brien's coming out of the pits. We can see there's O'Brien coming out of the pits on the screen, and there's Pryor with the pink helmet. So O'Brien manages to hang on to his lead, and Piers Pryor now is on his case. So Piers is closer than he was before the pit stop. So it's been a good sort of round of pit stops for Piers Pryor in terms of his sheer track position on O'Brien. He's a lot closer than he was. We're going to have to see what happens when Longman comes in the pits, because David Longman now has assumed the lead. Early pit stops by everybody seems the order of the day. Longman is staying out though. He's still staying out, and he's staying out with a good healthy lead. There goes O'Brien and Pryor though. They actually can probably see Longman from here, and it'll be interesting to see how that affects their performance. Jake Campbell Mills continues running in 4th place, Cassia Brem in 5th, Ben Churchill in 6th, Harry John Neal in 7th, Callum Conway 8th, Christian Jennings has gone up to 9th, with Chris Negus running 10th. Of course, Christian Jennings we saw get the penalty as well, so he really has the bit between his teeth. There he is in the 9 car. Okay, we're looking at the race lead now on screen, and that was coming down the back straight. There they are. There's the leader, there's 2nd place. It's Michael O'Brien now coming around the corner there in the lead with the white helmet, and Piers Pryor, he's running 2nd. I'm calling it 1st and 2nd because we do need to see what happens. Longman's in the pits, he's lost the lead, so they are now battling for 1st and 2nd, O'Brien and Pryor. Longman has resumed in 3rd, but he's got the close attention of Jake Campbell Mills. Jake Campbell Mills now is very, very close, and he's got Cassia Brem and Ben Churchill with him, so it could well be, well, a little bit behind, but it could well be that this becomes a 4-way scrap for 3rd place. Keep your eyes on that one. That's them going out of view in the camera. Okay, so they're coming onto the backstretch now. That's the 3rd and 4th. There's 3rd, there's 4th, and there's 5th Cassia Brem and 6th Ben Churchill on screen. It's going through the corner there, and we're following them through again. This is the battle for 3rd place. There's 3rd Longman, 4th Campbell Mills, Brem, and followed by Ben Churchill. Okay, so it's still the lead being held by Michael O'Brien, but Piers Pryor is right with him. Michael O'Brien has not got anything like a clear run that he had before. Michael O'Brien really having to work for this one. There he is on screen. White helmet, this is the pink of Piers Pryor. Okay, so it's going to be between O'Brien and Pryor for sure. We've got a situation with David Longman. The timing is actually still showing him in the lead. I may have been wrong about who came in the pits. It may have been another blue-suited driver, so bear with me on that one. But if Longman has yet to pit, it'll still be very interesting. I think he will come out behind the battle. Oh, and it's there's contact there over 3rd place. I think that's Longman running 3rd in the 19. It is Longman running 3rd. I was right that he had made the pit stop. Definitely contact, but there's a back marker in the way of Michael O'Brien. The back marker's got out of the way, and 2nd place has come through as well. That's Piers Pryor. Piers Pryor's now right on the tail of leader Michael O'Brien. And there they are, going away from the camera shot there in the distance, and that is the battle for the lead. I can say they're still battling for it. There they are, coming into view again. And then away from what was the snail section, onto the backstretch. Here's the battle for the lead. Now, will Pryor have a look down the inside? No, he won't, because O'Brien's got that inside covered. O'Brien running very, very tight through the corner there, not giving anything away. O'Brien is really working hard for this one. He seemed to have it a little bit easier in the early heat race. He definitely does not have anything easy now. Piers Pryor is all over the back of him, making him really work hard. O'Brien is having to defend to the inside. It's a tough old deal for the car racer. He's got a lot of form in car racing, Formula Ford and historic racing as well. With the historics, he's been Silverstone International Trophy winner, and he's also won at the Brands Hatch Super Prix. So he's certainly got form in cars, and he's showing form in karts. But Piers Pryor is showing that he may have even more form. He's trying an outside move in the hairpin. Now he's gone to the inside. Oh, there's Piers Pryor having the door shut on him. And Michael O'Brien knows he's really got a lot of work to do if he's going to hang on the lead here. Piers Pryor's got intentions of coming out on top of this one, and it does seem as though we've got Jake Campbell-Mills up into third place. It looks like he's elbowed David Longman back into fourth, and Cassia Brem still runs sixth. In sight of that battle there, and running with Cassia is Ben Churchill, so it's still tight over that third place position. So coming into the picture again, here we are, here are the two leaders. So that's how close is the lead, and Pryor again having a little look. Michael O'Brien going to be wondering there exactly where the next shot's going to come from, because Pryor is trying everything everywhere. He's trying inside, he's trying outside, left and right, hairpins, fast corners, everywhere he can. He's even trying it on the straight. Nothing's worked yet, but surely it's a matter of time. He's trying to wear Michael O'Brien down and force him into a mistake. They're onto that backstretch now. They're coming into that tight turn at the end, and there they are on screen. Oh, and a big lock up there. He tapped the back and locked up his brake, did Piers Pryor. It's not cost them any time though. They're into view now. There they are. So they're coming through to start another lap. It's still the same two leaders. Still the same pressure for Michael O'Brien. He's not getting away with this one by any means. Jake Campbell-Mills continues to run third. There he's in the yellow helmet. Fourth is Longman, Brem and Churchill. It's very tight over that third place result. A little bit of a mess up there. And they are coming up towards the back marker. I think it looks like Chris and Aegis they're going to be catching. Chris is well aware though, and he's already looking over his shoulder, anticipating the two coming through. But another move for position, as we can see on screen there. Piers Pryor making another move, or trying to make a move on Michael O'Brien. He's certainly applying the pressure. There's tons of pressure coming on to the driver ahead of him. Now, as we can see, the battle for third place, though, there they are. They've caught the back marker. Surely this isn't going to work out well for everybody. Longman gets through, as has Jake Campbell-Mills before him. And now it's Cassia Brem and Ben Churchill who've yet to pass the back marker, and this could split that group up. Now, we've seen Chris Aegis. He's very gentlemanly indeed. He does his best to get out of the way, but there's only so much a driver can do. He's got to be somewhere. He can't disappear. So inadvertently, he may end up holding up the fifth and sixth place drivers who are in the battle for third place. But yes, you can see they're already losing time, and Ben Churchill around the outside of the back marker Aegis there, and Cassia Brem and Ben Churchill have now got to claw their way back up into contention for that third place battle. Meantime, what do we say about the front? Well, it's still Michael O'Brien. There he is in the distance there. And guess what? Yes, Piers Pryor is still beating on his back door. Onto the back stretch now. Heading towards that crucial corner at the end of the back stretch. Again, Pryor tries to the outside, trying to force O'Brien to stay on the inside, therefore taking the corner tighter and slower, and hoping he can get a run, but nothing going. O'Brien's got all the angles covered. Has to be said though, even though Michael O'Brien's got all the angles covered at the moment, Piers Pryor is certainly trying all those angles, and surely it's just a matter of time. He's just trying to wear him down. Michael O'Brien can afford absolutely no mistakes at all. Certainly showing himself up to be a very thoughtful driver. He's got the brains, he's got the speed, and it's just a question of if Pryor can find the space, and then well to the inside. Look at that, both drivers seriously onto the inside. O'Brien, obviously with no mirrors in a racing kart, if you're used to cars like O'Brien is, he can follow what the guy behind's doing in the mirrors. This time he can't. He's got to look over his shoulder. Looking over his shoulder means you're not looking where you're going, and that can cause its own sort of problems. You touch the wall in these things and you lose a lot of momentum, and O'Brien can't afford that at all. Okay, so it's still O'Brien leading this, the battle behind is separated out. Jake Campbell-Mills has created a little bit of space over David Longman, who in turn has created a bit of space over the battling Cassia Brem and Ben Churchill. Back up at the front now, we can see as they're circulating the track now under the stadium area there. They're catching another back marker. I think that could be Callum Conway looking at the suit. Conway, another one who's well aware of what's going on. He moves out of the way, lets the leaders through. Great driving there by Callum Conway. He's running 9th. 8th, in fact, because the Christian Jennings, who served the penalty, is actually behind him in 9th. And battle resumes. They're on the back stretch. What's going to happen? O'Brien, he defends the inside. And here's Pryor. He keeps going where O'Brien goes. It's as if he's fixed on the cart in front and he's just biding his time. It might be worth him trying something to the outside perhaps, but who knows. Certainly Pryor knows exactly which. He's gone for the lead, he's taken it. He's taken the lead, they're side by side again, but Piers Pryor, a huge lunge into the new hairpin. A hairpin created when they altered the track here at Formula Fast, and Piers Pryor has taken the lead. Piers Pryor is now leading for the first time in the BRKC. The former junior world champion has taken the lead from Michael O'Brien, and Michael O'Brien's going to try and come back at him. Third place, we know Jake Campbell-Mills, a former junior world champion competitor himself, but Piers Pryor now has the lead. There he is in the purple helmet. On screen now, coming to start the first complete lap. He's shown in the lead. He's shown in the lead there. It's Piers Pryor from Michael O'Brien. And Jake Campbell-Mills is third. And fourth place is definitely still David Longman, so we'll see what happens there. But certainly look at Piers Pryor go. Michael O'Brien, though, is now doing to Piers Pryor what Piers Pryor spent the last quarter of an hour doing to him. Piling on the pressure. Looking left, looking right. Seeing if he can force a mistake from the driver ahead. Piers Pryor clearly knows exactly what he's doing, but then so did Michael O'Brien. Who thought Michael O'Brien would be overtaken like this, the way he drove that earlier heat race? But a second place will still mean a lot of points for him. And Piers Pryor has set the fastest lap of the race so far. So Piers Pryor is the quickest, ahead of O'Brien, and Campbell-Mills, of course, in third still. But Campbell-Mills is now trying to draw up to the leaders. He's closer to the leaders. Can he make it a three-way fight for victory? Pryor, O'Brien, and here's Campbell-Mills on screen in the yellow helmet. So Campbell-Mills can see the leaders in head. If they keep battling and keep taking tight lines, things like this, he may well be able to close in. Campbell-Mills may yet make a race for the win on this one. Behind him, of course, David Longman is now moving ahead of a back marker, but he's not really in contention with Campbell-Mills. It's Campbell-Mills who may yet catch the two leaders. At the moment, it's Piers Pryor who's leading, again with the fastest lap according to the timer. And Michael O'Brien just keeps working away, but look at that, how close they are through that picture there. Campbell-Mills was the third car through, so we can see now he's edging on to those two leaders. Two leaders are doing their best to fight but not lose much speed. Whereas Campbell-Mills, he can do what he likes. He's not trying to defend anything. All he's trying to do is drive his heart out and catch up with those two and make a race of it for the win. There's Piers Pryor, who's still leading the way. He's going out to camera now onto the backstretch. So the pink helmet to Pryor. There's the leader. Second is O'Brien, and look at Campbell-Mills closing in. So here's Pryor, here's O'Brien, but look for Campbell-Mills in the yellow helmet. There he is, closing in third place. So Campbell-Mills looking very good indeed. He may yet have enough race to do something about this. The two leaders are trying to pull away. It's still Piers Pryor as far as the timer is concerned, who's setting the fastest lap, but it may well be Campbell-Mills who's quickest at this stage of the race if everyone's a little bit slower than they were earlier on. Pryor and O'Brien in the distance there, and Campbell-Mills, you can see on screen there in the background, is closing in on the pair. They're on the backstretch now, and they're coming into that crucial tight corner at the end. Here they go. Oh, and another move for the lead. A big slam-dunking move by Michael O'Brien. Puts him in first place. It's the last lap, and O'Brien has done it exactly right. Oh, and look at Piers Pryor takes the lead back. Piers Pryor takes it. Campbell-Mills second, and O'Brien in third. My goodness me. What a move there by O'Brien on the end of the straight. And then Pryor on the final turn. And what a move by Jake Campbell-Mills to take advantage of all the beating and banging to come through to second place. He caught the two leaders, and that is exactly what Campbell-Mills have been looking for. Jake Campbell-Mills, that was precisely why he was trying to close the leaders down, just in case anything like that happened, and it worked exactly in his favour. What a move by him at the end, but what a move both by O'Brien and Piers Pryor. Piers Pryor wins at BRKC in the heat race. What a run by him.
Hard, certainly. Yeah.
Russell Endine is here with us. Russell, what's your... Well, I was going to say on the last lap. It wasn't the last lap, it was the last couple of corners. What do you think of that?
So I just caught the move out of the corner of my eyes. It's certainly like a hard one, as I think fair from sort of first impression, but so it'd be interesting to see other people who had a sort of a better view of it. But say Jake certainly had obviously got the best of that in the sort of final corner, being able to push through.
Absolutely, and looking at the TV screen, the viewers at home will have had the best view of that. Anyone watching online, guys, you'll have seen that better than anyone. The move there with prior to the sorry, with O'Brien to the inside of Pryor. He was clearly on long side, and it was really a bit of a karting bump. But then Pryor coming back at him on that last bend, it was just a case of, right, I'm sending it up the inside. That was the move. And then Campbell Mills taking advantage. He closed up on the pair and took advantage at the end. He went from third to second, and if you remember, he was actually some way back partway through that race, but he kept with it and managed to take second place. So a good chunk of points there by Campbell Mills. That's going to serve him well for the point standings, for getting through the semi-finals and hopefully from his point of view into the final itself. So what a run there, and it was the first race we had on the new format, on the new circuit. Those watching on computer, you will have had not really that good a view of the changes to the far side of the circuit. We're on minimum cameras today, we'll be using full cameras tomorrow, so a lot more to see there. Next up in this second race of round 2 of the heats, well, we've got another one to watch. We've got some tough guys in this. We've got Harry Neal, we've got Arnis Kavaitis, we've got Ed White, we've got Brad Philpott. Ed White we saw win earlier on. We've got Brad Philpott, we've got Liam Briley, we've got Michael Westhoff, we've got Michael Courts, Robin Kassam, Michael Holdcroft. Remember Michael Holdcroft in that battle in the early heat race, and Michael Weddle, he had a great race earlier on as well, Weddle did. So plenty to look for in this one, in this next heat race. Keep yourselves tuned if you're watching at home. This is building up to be an epic.